you also had to do a piece of writing about a place, about some architecture, didn't you? Tell us about that, Zac.
Yeah. So this is another reason why I really liked why I chose history of art at Oxford is because they requires this piece of writing in the application, which I thought would be really fun to write.
Again, you may not have to do that depending which system you're applying through, depending on which university you're applying to. You might not need to submit an essay, but you might.
Yeah, I wrote about you could choose like an artwork or architecture, and oh, and this is also a detail. I think because I talk about film so much in my personal statement, um, my history of art tutor uh, told me that it would probably be better if I can talk about a different art form in my what is it called? Yeah, art response. Yeah, to really show the kind of because history of art is a very diverse
Breadth, to show some
subject.
breadth.
Yeah, breadth,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I wrote about architecture, which is quite different from a film.
Yeah, absolutely. Really great advice there, Zac. Yeah, if you're going to write about film in your personal statement, write about architecture in your art response. Good advice. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I chose this building by the Brazilian modernist architect Oscar Niemeyer. Yeah, Oscar Niemeyer, and it was in Paris. It was the headquarters of the French Communist Party, and I was just kind of fascinated with it when I first saw photos online. But again, it was recommended by the admissions people for students to go physically to the artwork they are going to write about to really get a physical sense of it. And that benefited me a lot. I was really lucky with time as well. I was just back from England, from Oxford Open Day, and I got on the Eurostar and I went to Paris. And it was exactly that weekend when the only weekend, I think, during the year when that building is open to the public. And I got a real physical sense of it that really inspired me to write.
Wonderful, Zac. Yeah. So again, this is a theme of our conversation, isn't it?
Yeah.
The going to a place. There's no replacement for actually visiting a place. So your parents, when you were a child, took you to art galleries to see art. When you were selecting a university, you went to visit Oxford. You were lucky enough to visit Harvard as well. And now, when writing this art response for your Oxford application, you went to the place and saw it in person. There's no substitute for direct sensory experience, is there, Zac?
No, yeah, I absolutely agree. It's very important.
And then you wrote about it a wonderfully evocative way so that I could imagine what it was like. There were also some images of it in your response as well. It was deeply intellectual. Reading that, I learned a lot about architecture, about French communism.
Yeah.
You taught me some great things. So, but that's a very individual task that students may or may not have to do as part
Yeah.
of their application. But again, go somewhere, write about something that you're passionately interested in.
Yeah. And I have that one posted on TikTok as well.
Brilliant. And we will put a link to Zac's TikTok channel here so you can see his art response. It's a fascinating read. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and you'll find out when we post the next part of Zac's journey to Oxford. Coming up, the dreaded Oxford interview.